As Soo-yeon approached Se-in-hee, she realized that although she survived the fire, the large scar had altered her life significantly. Wearing a wig made her feel insecure, and despite hating it, she had to wear it and often cried. Deep down, Soo-yeon blamed Se-in-hee, who never imagined that her gift would lead to such a disaster. Se-in-hee cried and apologized to Soo-yeon, and now that they met again, Soo-yeon warned her that she would slowly seek repayment for the pain caused. That night, Se-in-hee couldn't sleep, feeling guilty about her childhood friend. The next morning, when Soo-yeon got to school, she found a secret letter from Se-in-hee. In it, Se-in-hee wanted to apologize for what happened, realizing for the first time that an accident could hurt her friend. Though it seemed late, Se-in-hee hoped to restore their friendship. Just then, a group of bullies showed up, curious about the situation between the two. They uncovered the secret Soo-yeon had kept hidden, and laughed while threatening Se-in-hee. Unable to tolerate the attack on her dignity, Soo-yeon stood up to them, warning them to stay away from Se-in-hee. After the last class, the two friends exchanged shy glances. Soo-yeon thanked Se-in-hee for the letter, and this simple gesture brought relief to Se-in-hee. On her way home, Soo-yeon was confronted by a gang of thugs, who were friends of the bullies. They sought revenge for their friends and cornered Soo-yeon, forcing her to kneel. One by one, they approached her, hitting and humiliating her. Just then, Kyung-ho arrived just in time, furious, and struck the leader. The gang members were scared that someone would stand up to their boss. Kyung-ho moved closer to check on Soo-yeon's injuries and, relieved to see she was okay, sighed. He reached out to her, but the ringleader brandished a weapon to threaten him. Kyung-ho simply smiled at them and charged forward, knocking two thugs aside. The girls watching were scared but relieved someone was helping Soo-yeon. Since Kyung-ho didn't hit girls, he let Soo-yeon decide what to do. After the bullies ran away, the police finally showed up. Not wanting to get involved, Kyung-ho took Soo-yeon's hand, and they ran off together. Her heart raced as she smiled, feeling the thrill of love. He walked her home, and as they said goodbye, Soo-yeon secretly watched him leave, feeling a pang of jealousy over the gift he had given to Sun-hee. The next day in class, she saw Kyung-ho taking pictures with Sun-hee, the three friends always together. Wanting to join in, Soo-yeon suggested Sun-hee take a photo with them. To everyone's surprise, Sun-hee wanted a picture with Kyung-ho too. Sun-hee quickly helped Soo-yeon connect with others. That night, Sun-hee invited her over for dinner. Feeling shy on her first visit to a friend's home, Soo-yeon clumsily dropped some food. Sun-hee's parents were happy to see their daughter with a friend, and Soo-yeon felt their warmth. After dinner, Sun-hee offered to walk her home, but Soo-yeon politely said no. Sun-hee's father noticed she seemed upset and suggested a family trip, wanting to include her friend. The next morning, while taking out the trash, Soo-yeon overheard Kyung-ho say he only liked Sun-hee, which made her feel jealous. In anger, she confronted Sun-hee, asking if Kyung-ho was meeting her that day. Sun-hee, surprised, confirmed there was a plan. Soo-yeon then shouted that Sun-hee should not go to Kyung-ho, or their friendship would end. Sun-hee was shocked by Soo-yeon's anger. After class, when Kyung-ho came to see Sun-hee, she turned him down because Soo-yeon was there. Feeling sad, Sun-hee went home but found a book that Soo-yeon had left behind. She rushed to return it, but then saw Soo-yeon standing in front of Kyung-ho's house. Not wanting to interrupt, Sun-hee hesitated. Inside, Soo-yeon saw that Kyung-ho had decorated the room for his confession to Sun-hee. The sight of balloons and roses made her uneasy, and she told Kyung-ho to stop, saying he would just be turned down. Kyung-ho stepped closer, asking if she liked Sun-hee too. Outside, Sun-hee waited a long time without seeing anyone. Just as she was about to leave, a scream echoed. Inside, Soo-yeon had lost control, and was threatening Kyung-ho with a knife. When Sun-hee arrived, Soo-yeon lunged at her, but Kyung-ho jumped in front, getting hurt. Sun-hee fell into despair and rushed home, trembling as she told her mother she had lost Kyung-ho. Her mother was left speechless by the news. Sun-hee planned to confess, but her mother was only worried about whether Sun-hee had killed Kyung-ho. Sun-hee confessed to stabbing him, but was so scared that she left the knife at his house. Her mother asked if there were any witnesses, but Sun-hee lied, shaking her head and pretending not to know. She had also left her phone and math book at the scene. Her mother comforted her, saying everything would be fine, and hugged her tightly. Then, she quickly closed the curtains and changed Sun-hee out of her bloody clothes. After that, she went to make dinner, adding sleeping pills to a glass of milk for Sun-hee, who was lying in bed scared. The next day, Sun-hee woke up in her warm bed, and was surprised to see her notebook and phone on the table. She couldn't believe it, but when she checked her phone, she found a picture of the three of them together. Cautiously, she walked into the living room, and was confused to see her parents going about their day. Suddenly, a news report announced a house fire, and Sun-hee was horrified to learn that it was Kyung-ho's house, where his whole family had tragically died. She trembled as she looked at her kind mother, wondering if she had started the fire. Meanwhile, at Kyung-ho's house, police arrived to investigate. The house was completely destroyed, and the fire had started in the son's room. Soo-yeon also came to watch, her scared face catching the police's attention. When the inspector approached her, Soo-yeon quickly ran away. The inspector told his team to look into the victim's friends. Angrily, Soo-yeon called Sun-hee, but there was no answer. Furious, she rushed to Sun-hee's house, while Sun-hee stayed locked in her room, ignoring her mother's calls to let her in and refusing to see anyone.